Hey, so in this video, I want to look at ticker symbol PDYPF. This is Flutter Entertainment. They own FanDuel, and that's really why this is in our portfolio and we're tracking it, is because it owns FanDuel. Uh, it seems like gambling or online gambling, sports betting is becoming more popular. This has one of those apps that allows this in FanDuel. So I think this one has room to grow. Um, so let's just take a look at the last time we checked in on this stock, which was about June 2nd, so about a month ago. We didn't pick any up, but we did notice a strong uptrend for the past 9 months. We'll see if it's now 10 months. We also noted that it was trading at 190 about a month ago. We had buy points listed at 170 and 185 with resistance at 214. So we're just going to do technical analysis. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to do so as we go through this. But yeah, let's just take a look. So this is the purple you can see is clearly that uptrend that we were referring to. We also have some horizontal lines which we may go over. It looks like 170 is this middle blue horizontal line. 185. 185. That must have been the top of the range, the top of the uptrend channel, or I'm sorry, the bottom of the uptrend channel. And then 214. 214 is that red line, and those were all the points in terms of buying resistance. So yeah, June 2nd. So that was right here. So about, what was it trading at? 190? Let's zoom in a little more. So 199? We must have. Uh, so Flutter or PDYPF, uh, it must not be traded enough, and so there's gaps in timing, and that's why whenever we zoom out, we can see all these like gaps. Uh, I think it's just there's not that much activity in this one, which is kind of surprising to me. Uh, but I think that's what happened because normally these are pretty spot on. So to see this one's off by $9, especially on the day, the fact that we looked at this on June 2nd, so not sure what happened there, but it's pretty close. Either way, uh, from the last time we looked at this, so about 190. I Yeah, I'm just surprised it's because I would have thought it'd be like 200, 199. Maybe it's just a typo. Maybe it's meant to be 199. Um, but anyway, since then, it's kind of just traded sideways and actually took a big dip this past trading week. So hopefully the next time we circle into this, maybe in August, we'll be able to cover some news. I know there's not that much that happens with this company in terms of headline news, so it should be easy to catch up. It's just not enough time this for this video, but hopefully the next one will have a little better understanding what's causing this dip. So again, if you're watching and you kind of know why it is, please share it. I'd be happy to read that. It'd be really helpful too to others. Uh, but yeah, let's just check in. So it seems like we've reached a peak. So we had resistance at 214. It looks like it got pretty close at around 206, pulled back. So I would count that in favor of that resistance line. I realized it didn't go all the way up to that point, but it got very close. So we're counting that as it got rejected there. And I think overall, this really, I mean, this uptrend was very quick. Uh, Overall, I think we can still count this as staying in the uptrend. I realize it broke here, but it broke here 1, 2, 3 times, just barely. This one's definitely more significant, and I recognize that. It's just, it hasn't been that long. And with a company that can make sizable jumps like this, I wouldn't be surprised at all if over the next 1 or 2 weeks it's all of a sudden back in that uptrend. So I'm not really concerned with it breaking at this point. Yes, it might have, but uh, we're not going to factor that in yet because, again, to look at the flip side, uh, it broke the uptrend in the positive side a few times. More recently, in end of April, all through May, it was exceeding that uptrend, but we didn't say it broke the uptrend and reaccelerated uh, because we figured, it would pull back. Ultimately, it did pull back in the range, and maybe now it's just overcorrecting. That seems to happen, where it clearly was outpacing what it most people would assume it would do when looking at the technicals. So the fact that it pulled back in the range, kind of hung out here, and now, like I said, I've seen it before where it overcorrects. So maybe in the next week or two, it's going to be right back in that uptrend. But we'll see. Let's just keep going through this. So where's it at today? It went from 190. It's now at 183. So not a huge change, but it's still in that. It's interesting. This one's didn't really change much in price, but we might have a different attitude towards this one. Um, I guess let's jump to the note. So I said in the note that there was this strong uptrend for the past 9 months. I'm going to say that is still true. It very likely, next time we circle back to this, if it continues to trade sideways, that this is all going to be wiped out. But for now, I am going to keep it because it's still so fresh. It could easily bounce back in a week or two. So we'll keep it as still in effect, and it's been that way since July of last year. So I'm surprised that note wasn't changed. So strong uptrend for, I'm going to say 1 year. For 1 year, starting in July of 2022. The buy points that I'm looking at, right off the bat, I would say the bottom of the range would be 196. So I'm just going to put that in for now. I might remove it, but 196 would be the bottom of that uptrend. 214 is still, still there. So it looks like 198. 198 is also kind of resistance. So what's nice about this stock is it has reached these heights before. And if we zoom in here, in about 2020 to about 2021, there was like a 2-year window where, yes, it was breaking 198, this blue line, but there was also a lot of instances where it couldn't get above that. And clearly, even when it did go above, it didn't last long. It lasted, like, this one is arguably the biggest time where it exceeded that point. It rallied for about a month and pulled back in about a month and a half. So there is something to 198 for whatever reason. I'm looking forward to looking at their financial statements to really get a grip on this one. Get this out of here. 170. 170. I guess there's some support at that. Um, I not much, but clearly enough that I felt I can add this. I think we're gonna make this a softer line. And then 144. Yeah, there's some support there. I It's definitely stronger than 170, so I'll keep that one slightly bolder. And then yeah, 105. I don't know if it'll pull that far back. It's difficult to tell with a company like this. I happen to have their spreadsheet open. Market cap's 35 billion, so it's not huge. I don't know how much it would fluctuate. Looking forward to next video because I think we'll be able to cover this one and its financial statements. But we'll see. So again, the question is buying this one. Where would I buy it? yeah, again, if we're confident in this uptrend, I think the uptrend is out. I do think it's out. Uh, so because of that, my buy point is probably 170. I like 170. The trouble is, if it breaks through 170, I could easily see this one pull back to 144, if not 105. I don't think it'll pull back that significantly, but yeah, without looking at the financials, kind of in the dark here. But at least technically, buy point, we're just going to put them all in there. We have 105, we have 144, we have 170, 185. 185 is out, but I'll keep it in for now, I suppose. Um, 170, yeah, that one's possible. Hmm. We're gonna keep it at once. Gosh, I'm so tempted to put 144 as my number. Uh, 170, 170. 144 is going to be the number right now. Until I do more research, I'm comfortable with that. Resistance, 214 again, that's very strong. In terms of the uptrend range, like 211, so I'll just leave 214. 196, I think that should be 198. And then as of now, uh, point of interest, we'll say 214. If it pulls back more, obviously it'll 198 would be more interesting to us, but 214 is good. We can update the date to today. And in terms of this one, I might give this one fair value rating. It's definitely pulled back a lot. It doesn't really have strikes against it. And in strikes, I mean like it's not exceeding the uptrend range. It's not exceeding a resistance point. It's not even really near a resistance point anymore. Uh, if anything, it's right in the middle of these fainter blue lines we have marked out at 170 and 198. It's kind of right in the middle. Uh, this is also our projection, again, just based off technicals. It's right in that range where I could see it finishing next year. Um, yeah, I would say this one's a fair buy. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Again, I think we're just going to keep digging, see if we find something else. And maybe when we circle back, we might find it a buy. But for now, I'm comfortable with where it's at. So just to do a quick recap, uh, and again, if you have any news on this one, please share it in the comments. It'd be very helpful. Otherwise, yeah, so ticker symbol PDYPF, which is FanDuel, currently at 183. My buy point would be 144. Uh, but again, depending on if you think that uptrend's going to kick right back in, then 185 is on the table and it's at 183. I just think, uh, based on my current knowledge on this one, I'm going to wait for it to pull back further until I do some more research on it. But again, just technically based, 185 is on the table, 170 is on the table. Uh, but from now, 144 is my figure. Resistance at 198 and 214. It's clearly got rejected at 214, and 198 is kind of a sticky spot for it too. But overall, this uptrend, it's been in effect for a full year. It might have just broken it, but for now, we'll leave that note in until a couple weeks. We want to see a couple weeks of it break that uptrend for us to remove it. But for now, uh, we'll leave it there. Uh, so that wraps this up. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.